digging deeper into the FSIN's finances, who the organization paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to and why. Acknowledging a dark time in Canadian history, a day to address what happened at a Saskatchewan residential school. And celebrating a new school in Saskatoon, how culture and tradition will be a key part of education for students.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a deeper look into the expenses of the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations that were flagged in a federal audit. Keenan Sorokon has more on who was receiving some of this money.
We're learning more about the connection between a federal audit questioning $34 million of spending and the FSIN's former executive operating officer, Dawn Walker. Walker is known for her high-profile disappearance and abduction of her child in July 2022, which she orchestrated for months, forging passports and setting up bank accounts before staging her disappearance along the South Saskatchewan riverbank. She was ultimately arrested in Oregon while volunteers back home searched for her. CTV News has learned from a number of people close to the organization that ineligible spending flagged in a federal audit on a former employee was actually Walker's salary and contracts during the audit period. As part of more than $500,000 of federal funding paid to Walker over 7 separate agreements, the audit says $246,000 of it is ineligible. Walker received more than $100,000 through her company for services that appear to align with her responsibilities as an employee of FSIN. She also received a severance payment that KPMG described as appearing to have been inappropriate because she was re-employed less than a week after taking the severance. This is all despite Walker resigning prior to being terminated without cause. CTV News reached out to Walker through her legal counsel but did not get a response, and the FSIN did not respond to multiple requests. In a media release, the FSIN did not reference Walker by name but says it handed over proof that some of the former employees' salary was given to her company and says employees can assign salary for things like child or spousal support. The FSIN says a settlement agreement was negotiated based on a harassment matter, but a clerical error resulted in the former employee getting all of her severance and not the deducted amount, an overpayment of roughly $48,000. The FSIN says the salary payment was made under a court order and says it was legally obligated to pay, believing that money cannot reasonably be considered ineligible. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Meanwhile, Indigenous Services Canada is clarifying its response in relation to the forensic audit it ordered into the finances at the FSIN. ISC released a summary of the results from the audit on September 24th. The audit conducted by KPMG flagged more than $34 million as either ineligible, questionable, or unsupported. Earlier this week, the FSIN disputed the findings, saying it did not receive any detailed documents of the audit. The ISC originally told media the FSIN did not ask for a copy of the full report, but in an email to CTV News, it corrected that statement, saying it had indeed received a request from the FSIN for the full details. But it says it does not provide copies of the full audit, as the document could include sensitive and personal information. It did say that it met with FSIN leaders on September 11th to present the final audit and will hold further meetings to provide more information, but it will not include the full audit document as per policy. An emotional day on the site of a former residential school in Saskatchewan. A plaque was revealed detailing the atrocities experienced there by Indigenous students. Regina DeClute has more, and a warning: some viewers might find the details in this story disturbing.
The only standing former residential school in Saskatchewan is now a National Historic Site.
The importance is what it represents and what it has been and what has transpired since 1889 with the old former school that burnt, and then this one who was built in 1930, and what it means when it's shut in 1997.
Students from Muskowekwan School walked to the former institution, located near Lestock, to participate in a plaque unveiling ceremony.
And then the Muskowekwan First Nation got in touch with us. We're interested in commemorating this site, so we worked with them to commemorate the site the way they wanted.
The plaque now displays the impact of the school in 4 languages: Cree, Nakawewin, French, and English.
These children endured physical, and sexual abuse, severe discipline, and isolation from family, community, and tradition, causing intergenerational trauma.
The former school is still a vivid memory for many band members.
I attended the day school starting at age 4, and I continued living in this school until I was approximately 15 years old.
The chief says the restoration of the school is a way to be part of reconciliation in their community.
Where it stood as something really dark for the last 100 years is how long it stood in the community, and we need to make it a better place for us, a better place for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, and any future generations to come.
The First Nation is open to partnership regarding the future of the building, which is being preserved as a place of commemoration, healing, and cultural learning.
And we encourage and welcome any input from anyone across the province, throughout Canada. Let's do this together.
Fruzsina Declut, CTV News, Musqueam First Nation.
Saskatoon's newest Cree school is officially open, and today student, staff, and Saskatchewan leaders celebrated what's to come. CTV's Laura Woodward reports.
A ribbon cutting marking the opening of Saskatoon's new Cree bilingual school. Awasasa Kanomitochik St. Francis School, the Cree name meaning children who dance.
It's just a very special place. Because, you know, there's so many kids you think of, like, we just had residential school, like, you know, thinking of all those people.
The school has a focus on Indigenous culture and land-based learning with specialized spaces like the Medicines Lab and Greenhouse.
The kids are going to get what I never got growing up as a kid. My culture, my language, my identity.
The pre-K to grade 9 school welcomes about 700 kids in Saskatoon's Holliston neighborhood.
The biggest thing that I'm proud of, we're on the east side of Saskatoon. We're on the east side across the river, right? We're welcomed in this beautiful neighborhood.
The school replaces St. Francis School on McPherson Avenue, built in the 1950s. In addition to teaching the Cree language, the school features a drum group and a powwow dance troupe to help students embrace and celebrate traditional aspects of Indigenous heritage. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Police are looking for one of 3 people following an attempted murder in the Battlefords area. RCMP say on September 14th they were called for an assault on the Moosomin First Nation. A group of people approached a man and a woman. They assaulted the man and robbed him, and then forced the woman into a vehicle and drove away. She was able to escape, but not before being assaulted. Her injuries are described as serious. A man and a woman were arrested in connection to the attack, but RCMP are still looking for 25-year-old Wyona Katich. Anyone who knows where she is should contact RCMP. Well, Stacey, we are in for an interesting weekend.
You know, Chantel, it starts off with some decent weather, daytime highs in the mid-teens on Saturday, but then temperatures will drop on Sunday as a cold front moves in. However, that will be short-lived. We'll start to see a warm-up on Tuesday, and from there on, above seasonal temperatures. So some good news, some bad news there. I also want to point out this system that's bringing rain in between to areas in between Saskatoon and Regina. We're continuing to keep an eye on that, and I'll have more details on it and your full weather forecast later in the show.
Researchers at the University of Saskatchewan have received $1.5 million in federal funding to research wildfire response. A team that includes the First Nations Research Network, the Métis Research Network, and the University of Saskatchewan hope to improve supports for communities in times of crisis. One project will look at the impact of evacuees on communities opening their doors. Another looks at the impact of school closures to house evacuees. The team hopes to develop rapid research approaches to address future disasters, emergencies, and even pandemics. The Saskatchewan NDP is gathering in Saskatoon this weekend to talk strategy and put its priorities forward.
The focus on this convention is building a bright future in Saskatchewan. We've got 3 years ahead of us. I understand it's unusual maybe to start thinking about transition, but we haven't stopped since election night.
Party leader Carla Beck says a year after the last provincial election, she is building a team she hopes will help win the next election. She says people have told the party they want issues like education, crime, and mental health addressed. The NDP convention runs until Sunday. It is the party's 86th annual convention. The Saskatoon Food Bank and Learning Centre is a step closer to moving into a new home. Shovels hit the ground where the construction will begin on a new location at 425 Avenue P South. Staff at the food bank say their current building has been bursting at the seams for years, and they've had to adopt to keep up with the needs of the community. The new facility will allow both off-site storage, and the programs offered will be under one roof. Nutrien is the lead sponsor for the new food bank facility.
Our support of this new facility is more than a donation. It's a commitment to feeding the future, which is our purpose at Nutrien. We're invested every step on this food journey, and we believe that access to nutritious food is essential to individual and community well-being.
To all our supporters and donors, we send a huge thank you. Without you, we would not be able to serve the community as we do, and we certainly wouldn't have been able to realize the dream of a new facility.
The new location is expected to open in the spring of 2027. Prairieland Park is celebrating a major milestone today. A special celebration was held this afternoon to mark 140 years of the city's exhibition and other major events held at Prairieland Park. Jeff was the MC for the event, which looked back on some highlights, including the early days when access across the river was a challenge. City Archivist Jeff O'Brien says the exhibition and the grounds themselves have evolved a lot over the years, from a mainly agricultural show to what is known today.
What changed was in 1907, Saskatoon was growing and the exhibition changed with it. So the newspaper said, we are a big city now, we need to have a big city show. And so they did. And so in the next few years, it morphed from an agricultural show to an ag show, but also science and industry and art and commerce and technology. And so this is what Prairieland has done for 140 years. Saskatoon changes and Prairieland changes.
After multiple moves, the exhibition found its permanent home at Prairieland Park in 1909. Manitou Springs Resort is closing its pool for upgrades next month. A post to social media states the Manitou Springs Resort and Mineral Spa amenities will be closed starting November 12th for extensive maintenance and upgrades. The Manitou Springs website says the reopening date will be announced ASAP, but as of this afternoon, an official reopening date has not been made public. The hotel will remain operational during the closure, but front desk hours are subject to change. Still to come, new developments in the efforts to bring a peace plan in the Middle East. Also, the talent behind a notable song in the baseball world. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. There's been a big development on the war in Gaza following an ultimatum issued earlier in the day by U.S. President Donald Trump. Hamas has issued a response to a proposed Gaza peace plan. Judy Trin is following the news from Ottawa.
Reuters is reporting that Hamas is accepting the peace deal put forward by U.S. President Donald Trump. This after he issued an ultimatum earlier today. On social media, Donald Trump wrote that an agreement must be reached by Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Washington time. This is the last chance agreement, Trump wrote, and all hell like no one has seen before will break out against Hamas. This peace proposal was first unveiled on Monday by Trump after he met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The 20-point peace plan calls for Hamas to release all 48 hostages, 20 of whom are believed to still be alive. Hamas members must agree to decommission their weapons and commit to peaceful coexistence. In exchange, Israel would also release nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and gradually withdraw from Gaza, while a stabilization force led by Arab nations would eventually take over security in the territory. Now, this is happening after several countries, traditional allies of the U.S. and Israel, such as France, Britain, Australia, and Canada, recently recognized the state of Palestine last week at the United Nations General Assembly. Now, the war in Gaza is nearing 2 years. It would have reached its 2-year anniversary on October 7th. Palestinian officials say that more than 60,000 people have died and nearly 2 million people are at risk of starvation. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Prime Minister is gearing up for another trip to Washington. Mark Carney is preparing to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump next week. With CTV News learning some movement is expected on steel and aluminum tariffs. Abigail Beeman reports.
Why don't you just join our country? You become 51, become the 51st state.
It will be Mark Carney's second White House visit since becoming Prime Minister in a deja vu era of 51st state remarks.
As long as this continued reference to the 51st state remains foremost in the president's mind, this is not an atmosphere that is going to make these type of negotiations easy, and it's something that absolutely enrages Canadians.
The Prime Minister has been tight-lipped lately about any progress with the president, his office not always saying when they've spoken.
Have you talked to Donald Trump recently? Yes. What did he say?
But next week's visit will aim to keep trying to get a deal on punishing American tariffs, as both countries also launch consultations for the upcoming review of CUSMA. One source tells CTV News Canada is expecting progress on steel and aluminum tariffs, but not autos. In a rare public update, the top minister on the Canada-U.S. file told a Senate committee this week he's hopeful there can be a separate deal ahead of CUSMA.
I'm hoping we can get progress before the review process formally engages, but time will tell us if my optimism is misplaced.
The embassy is abuzz, Canadian embassy is abuzz with visits and people reaching out and meetings. But maybe I think Mark Carney knows that sometimes the principal has to get into the room to close the deal. And I'm hoping that Mark Carney's trip to Washington to meet with President Trump will be about a deal and not just more conversation.
In addition to LeBlanc, the foreign affairs and industry ministers will be joining the Prime Minister on his trip to D.C. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada Post has presented a new offer to the Canadian Union of Postal Workers promising modernization while maintaining what it says are fair wages and benefits. The proposal includes a 13.59% wage increase over 4 years, a defined benefit pension, health and post-retirement benefits up to 7 weeks vacation, and a cost of living allowance. However, the offer removes a signing bonus for employees. Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu urged Canada Post earlier this week to table a new offer. She is now pushing for both sides to find a deal. Schools across Alberta are preparing to close their doors ahead of Monday's possible province-wide teacher strike, a strike that the president of the Alberta Teachers Association says will be happening.
We will be on strike on Monday. That is a given. We know that things are moving quickly towards that. I know that teachers are not looking forward to it. It's something that we didn't want to do, but teachers are also willing to stand up for what they need in their classrooms. We're tired of seeing our students slip through the cracks because we don't have the resources to meet their needs. We don't have the space to teach them.
Alberta's education minister says the province has put a curriculum online that parents can use to teach their children should the 51,000 members of the province's Teachers Association walk out. Earlier this week, almost 90% of union members who voted rejected the latest offer, which included a 12% pay hike over 4 years and a promise to hire 3,000 more teachers. A judge in Manhattan has sentenced Sean Diddy Combs to 4 years and 2 months in prison and a $500,000 fine. The disgraced hip-hop music mogul was convicted in July on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. That was for flying people around the U.S. for sexual encounters, including his girlfriends and male sex workers for so-called sordid freak-offs. The judge said a lengthy sentence was needed for deterrence, and he's not convinced it won't happen again if Combs is released. In court, Combs apologized for any harm or hurt he caused his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Prosecutors said Combs has no remorse, noting he was so confident he'd be sentenced to time served that he had booked speaking engagements in Miami for next week. His lawyers have vowed to appeal. A potential new treatment is in the works for the hundreds of thousands of Canadians who suffer from a painful disease with no known cure. Scott Hurst has more on the medical breakthrough and how AI helped.
Researchers at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario and MIT have made 2 scientific breakthroughs at once. First, they've been able to develop a new antibiotic that targets inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD. They've also been able to use AI to predict exactly how the drug works. So let's first focus on the disease, IBD, the most common being Crohn's and colitis. And it's important to point out, Canada has one of the highest rates of Crohn's and colitis in the world, so the stakes are incredibly high. That's what brings us to the first breakthrough, the brand new antibiotic. Most antibiotics used in clinics are broad-spectrum drugs, meaning they wipe out good bacteria in addition to those that cause disease. But the new antibiotic discovered at McMaster is a narrow-spectrum drug, meaning it attacks only a specific group of disease-causing bugs. And according to researchers, the new drug is a really promising treatment candidate. Now let's bring in the AI application. Researchers say the development of the new drug has been fast-tracked thanks to the collaboration between human involvement and generative AI. Drug developers typically spend years and millions of dollars trying to determine a new drug's mechanism of action, MOA, or how it kills bacteria. Now, as the principal investigator pointed out, instead of years, they made the initial prediction thanks to AI in a matter of minutes. So using AI, this group completed a thorough MOA study in just about 6 months for about $60,000. It could prove to be quite a leap in medical research, and if all goes well, the new drug could be ready for human trials within a matter of years. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
It's the Blue Jays anthem that's long been a rallying cry for the team and its fans. The song OK Blue Jays is as much a part of the game as hot dogs. And now on the eve of their playoff run, CTV's John Venavalley-Rao met with some of the musicians behind the song, both thrilled and amazed by its enduring success.
It's a staple of the 7th inning stretch whenever the Blue Jays play at home. A song that's been around for more than 40 years.
You got a diamond, you got 9 men.
And one musician, Jack Lenz, helped to compose in a single afternoon back in 1982.
And that's not all, yeah, it was an afternoon, a couple hours.
Back then, Lenz and songwriting partner Tony Kosnick were asked to come up with a commercial to help market the Blue Jays to people who may not be baseball fans, which included Lenz and Kosnick, who'd never been to a big league game.
Neither of us were qualified to write that song.
Lenz says then Blue Jays executive Paul Beeston met with him and told the pair, when writing the song, to take into consideration the team was just 5 years old.
He didn't want to promise too much, so we could say they were okay. That was exact words. But fortunately, okay rhymed with Blue Jays, right?
They figured the song they came up with would last about a year, but it was released as a record that eventually went gold, selling more than 50,000 copies.
This is original.
This goes back to 1982. Yeah. Lenz showing us the sheet music that's now a piece of Blue Jays history.
You got the bleachers, you got them from spring till fall.
A song that featured the voice of musician Keith Hampshire.
A little OK Blue Jays.
Who says almost no one knows it's him singing the lyrics.
I go to the ball games now with my grandson, and when he was little, he used to look at me and go, "Is that you, Papa?" I go, "Yeah, that's me, son."
Hampshire is a big Jays fan and pleased the song lives on.
Okay.
And like Len's hoping the team is more than just okay in the playoffs.
Let's.
John Venevalley-Rouse, CTV News.
Crack.
Toronto.
All right, Stacey. Yeah, Jeff left you quite the forecast to deliver, but not all of it is bad.
Again, yeah, Chantal, good news, bad news. A drop in temperatures Sunday, Monday, but then again, Chantal, we'll see temperatures above seasonal. So just hold out a bit of hope right now in Saskatoon, 15, Prince Albert 14, and 17 in the Battlefords, and sunny. Light winds across the board. Our high today, 18, our low 6, so a touch warmer than seasonal. Our record was 30 degrees in 1943, and the record low -9 in 2000. Now the sun went up at 7:11 a.m. and it will go down at 6:40 p.m.
All right, thanks, Stacey. Coming up, when crossing your words pays off. We meet a Canadian man now famous in print.
Island Medium is coming to Saskatchewan Monday on Your Morning. Kayleen Sawatsky in conversation with Teresa Caputo ahead of her stops here.
Welcome back. The sun is just setting, some beautiful colors this evening. And again, the weekend, Saturday, not too bad, and then we'll start to see temperatures drop Sunday and Monday. But again, that's going to be short-lived, so just hold out hope. For now, let's take a look at our radar and satellite. Continuing to track this rain system that's moving through areas in Saskatoon and Regina. Swift current seeing some showers, some thunderstorm risk in Moose Jaw, and Davidson also seeing some rain, expecting about 1 to 3 millimeters of rain there. Then that system's going to make its way eastward. Mainly cloud coverage too across Saskatoon and Prince Albert area. Currently 15 in Saskatoon, 14 in Prince Albert. The sun has set there, and the Battlefords 17 and sunny. Our hotspot today, Estevan 24, Spiritwood, our cold spot at -1. Currently in Saskatchewan, 11 in Swift Current, 20 in Estevan, 13 in Regina, 12 in Yorkton, 14 in Prince Albert, and 17 in Lloydminster. Bit of a range of temperatures here. Kindersley 18, and then it cools down to 10 in Nipawin there as we move up north. Larange 17, Sandy Bay, Island Falls, South End 13, 14 in Collins Bay and Key Lake, Stony Rapids 15, and Buffalo Narrows 17. Again, another range of temperatures. We have Carlisle at 20, and then it cools down to Last Mountain at 12. Same with Melville. Indian Head, Broadview 13, 15 in Cornack. Temperatures ranging across the board here tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud in Saskatoon. That system's going to make its way eastward. Some scattered showers north of Prince Albert and a bit of rain in the far north. And those white lines, those isobars, fairly spaced out, indicating a light to moderate winds tomorrow. Taking a look at our forecast, there's that rain in Stony Rapids and Key Lake. A high of 8 tomorrow. Buffalo Narrows 11. Mix of sun and cloud in Meadow Lake, Kindersley, and Rosetown. Temperatures in the mid-teens. Maple Creek and Leader, cloudy. Swift current outlook. Mix of sun and cloud. Again, temperatures in the mid-teens. 18 in Regina, Moose Jaw, and Estevan. 16 in Melfort, Watrous, Humboldt, and 17 in Hudson Bay. Mix of sun and cloud across the board. Partly cloudy in the Battlefords tonight. Winds coming from the west at 10 kilometers an hour, and a low of 1 tomorrow. Mainly sunny. The wind picks up coming from the northwest at 20 kilometers an hour and a high of 14. And then we start to see that cold front move in. A high of 9 on Sunday, a high of 9 on Monday, and then Tuesday it's going to warm up again. It's mainly sunny on Tuesday, sunny on Wednesday, and you see that 20-degree temperature again. So some good news in the Battlefords there. A few clouds in Prince Albert tonight. Winds from the west at 10 kilometers. A low of 1 tomorrow. Mainly cloudy. A high of 16, and winds coming from the northwest at 20 kilometers an hour. Sunday, Monday, again, single-digit temperatures, but then Tuesday it's going to warm up, and then Wednesday looking pretty nice, sunny, and a high of 21. Temperatures all above seasonal there. Tonight in Saskatoon, 6, a few clouds tomorrow. 16, mainly cloudy, winds very light to mild. Sunday, again, we also have a single-digit temperature. Monday, a high of 10, and then it's going to warm up. Typically, our daytime high is around 15 degrees, so from Tuesday onwards, it's looking pretty nice. Still some above seasonal temperatures. Taylor Swift has released a brand new album. That's the track from The Fate of Ophelia from Swift's 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. As Swifties take in the 12 songs, many also heading to the movie theaters. That's because the music superstar is debuting a cinematic release party. Fans get an early look at the album's first music video. Swift has said dancing at the events is optional, but encouraged. The band Nirvana has won a case over the cover of its breakthrough album, Nevermind. The lawsuit was filed by the person in this photograph, Spencer Eldon. He claimed he was sexually exploited as a minor for commercial purposes. The case initially filed and dismissed in 2022 was struck down again this week, with the judge determining the photo could not be considered child pornography. Eldon's legal team tells Rolling Stone magazine they plan to appeal. The summer's most popular animated movie is teaming up with a popular video game. Fortnite has added the K-pop Demon Hunters to its lineup. Fans can now fight evil alongside the members of the Huntrix in a new Demon Rush mode. They can also create their own games based on the movie, remix their existing maps, and stage K-pop showdowns. Demon Rush mode is available until the end of the month.
All right, Stacey, time for Pick of the Day, and you've got some special photos to
We got 4 photos today, Chantel. You know, added a little extra there. First off, we have one from Jean Cody. She sent this in from the Humboldt area. It's the sunrise on the golf course at the Humboldt Golf Course on the 2nd green, and this was taken yesterday morning. Well, Jean, good on you for getting in some more rounds of golf and hitting the links while the weather still allows. Next, we have a photo from Margaret. This is also in the Humboldt area. She says, a fall walk in the forest. Beautiful fall colors with leaves changing. And this is also sent in by Margaret, a beautiful photo of berries. Again, nice time to get in your fall walks while the weather allows, and it's gonna be beautiful from there on. And finally, I want to give a shout out to Madame Lafon's grade 7 class at Saskatoon French School. I was there earlier today talking a bit about being a news reporter and the importance of news. The students asked some very thoughtful questions, and they were on their best behavior. So I just want to say thank you for having me. And if you want to send in a photo, you can send it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca.
Still to come, a BC man's way with words, how a special interest turned into a passion that got into print.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could win $20,000. For your chance to win, watch CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan, weekday mornings 6 to 9.
A BC chemistry professor's puzzling hobby is being recognized by the New York Times. The CTV's Adam Sawatsky tells us his crosswords are adding up to something pretty remarkable.
This is not a story about realizing a childhood dream, because back then, Mark McLaughlin was unaware of a crucial reality.
I'd never even heard of the New York Times when I was a kid.
Instead, Mark would regularly borrow his mom's magazines to complete the printed puzzles before learning how to effortlessly solve a Rubik's Cube.
Everybody would bring their cubes to me at school, and I would solve their cubes.
While he would grow up to become an award-winning chemistry professor, dean of science at UBC, and prolific Aloha shirt wearer,
I feel like they brighten the day for everybody else in the room.
It wasn't until Mark was pursuing his postgraduate work at MIT in the late 90s was that he discovered the pleasure of completing a crossword.
I just completely forget about work and that I have another life and immerse myself in the puzzle.
Until one day, Mark wondered, who actually makes the crosswords?
Found out that anyone can submit a puzzle to the New York Times.
So Mark taught himself how to design crosswords by hand, which can take between 30 to 80 hours, and started submitting them.
And promptly got it rejected and tried over and over.
But Mark persevered until he finally got his first puzzle published in the Los Angeles Times.
It was amazing. Yeah, super cool to finally get one accepted.
Since then, Mark has upgraded to using a computer to make more than 75 puzzles.
And I like trying to come up with new, clever themes that other people haven't thought about before.
While having a complex puzzle published can earn more than $2,200, Mark says seeing his work printed in the prestigious New York Times Weekend Edition is priceless.
And Sunday New York Times has felt the best.
Bigger than anything else in your career?
I think so.
While the puzzle-loving boy he once was never knew to dream this big,
I never imagined I'd be doing this as a hobby.
The professor he now is hopes his puzzling pastime, like teaching in aloha shirts or riding with dinosaurs, proves to be both educational and entertaining.
I hope that people enjoy it and learn something new.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
When we come back, what it takes to be a bobsleigh athlete, and later a spectacular sight in outer space.
Welcome back. It's time for a rural forecast. Temperatures, daytime highs in the teens, double digits, still pretty much for tomorrow. Also, mix of sun and cloud, mostly across the board. 13 in Meadow Lake, Lloydminster, and Spiritwood. 16 in Melfort, Watrous, Wynyard. 17 in Hudson Bay, 16 in Outlook, and 15 in Kindersley. Bit more of a range of temperatures here. East End Cypress, 12, and then it warms up to 19 in Cornack. Mainly cloudy or cloudy conditions across the board. Leader, cloudy, 15, Maple Creek, 14, 17 in Assiniboia and Rockland, 18 in Pilot Butte, 18 in Carlisle, and Lumsden also 18. So not looking too bad tomorrow. Now let's go to Delisle. Also in the mid-teens there. Mix of sun and cloud and moderate winds. It's also where you can get internet plans from SaskTel up to 1 gigabyte.
It's been a while, but the Saskatoon Berries historic season is still getting accolades. Berries head coach Joe Carnahan has been named the 2025 WCBL Coach of the Year. Carnahan joined the Berries in 2024, making it to the East Division Final. 2025 was a record-setting season with 46 wins, 495 runs scored, 415 runs batted in, and 967 total bases. It's his 5th Coach of the Year award after winning 4 with the Swift Current 57s in the former Western Major Baseball League. Well, it costs a lot of money to become an Olympic athlete. One bobsleigh athlete in Calgary holds down a full-time job to help pay the bills. Glenn Campbell has the details.
It's Wednesday morning and Chris Ashley and his crew are on another call. Ashley's an electrician with Granite Electric. He got his ticket 17 years ago. Ashley says it's a challenging job, but he likes it.
I get to go all over, we're all over southern Alberta from Lethbridge up to Edmonton. So I get to go to a new place every day, get to work with a bunch of good guys.
As much as he likes it, there was something missing in Ashley's life. He'd always been athletic and wanted to do something big in his life athletically. 4 years ago, he started his journey in bobsleigh.
And then a good buddy of mine came and said, hey, I'm going to join the Canadian bobsled team. Do you want to train with me? And I said, bobsled? Sure, let's give it a go. The training was awesome. It was like sprinting, lifting, all these cool things that I love to do. Ended up qualifying to test for Team Canada, and I made it.
Ashley knows he wouldn't be able to be both an electrician and compete in bobsleigh if he didn't work for a very understanding company and boss.
When I came to my boss and I said, hey man, I'm going to do this crazy bobsled thing. I'm going to need to take 6 months off. He was definitely like, what? But no, I was chatting with him, and you know, I think everybody's had an Olympic dream when they were a kid, and him and I kind of touched on that. And he always wanted to be an Olympian in some fashion or whatever. So he said, you know what, Chris, like, go for it, man. We'll support you. And But, go make us proud.
And Chris Ashley.
The dream of going to the Olympics is still there for Ashley, and he has his sights on the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy.
Like I said, a childhood dream. As soon as you put the maple leaf on your back and you're competing for Team Canada, like there's no feeling like it. It's amazing. I'm super grateful for the opportunity.
Well, as we heard earlier, there has been some movement in the Canada Post strike. Marilla Fernandez has more.
Canada Post has presented a new offer to the union representing striking workers. It includes the same offer of a 13.6% increase over 4 years, but the Crown Corporation has pulled a signing bonus off the table, citing its worsening financial situation. Mail carriers have been on strike for a week. The union says it will review the offer. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.66. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 60.53. Western Canadian Select to 49.02. And the TSX hit another record close again today, shooting up another 311 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon just over $1.32 a liter. The lowest price in town is $1.24.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day at $117.50, and Nutrien was down 60 cents. Coming up, a new discovery in space. Then the daring, death-defying climb.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV starting at 7 with Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. Well, astronomers have found a Pac-Man of sorts in space. This planet is 620 light years away. It's round and it's gobbling up dust and gas at record-breaking speed. 6 billion tons per second to be exact. It's classified as a rogue planet, which means it does not orbit a star. Astronomers are tracking its growth, which changes in a matter of months. That's a big deal since quick in space terms usually means millions of years, but spectacular to watch.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so I know you've had your eyes on this piece of video all day. A professional climber from Slovenia has made history in a really wild way. Domen Skofic is the first person to successfully complete a climbing route while flying. He pulled it off at 2,500 feet on a glider with a specially constructed route under its wings. Not surprisingly, he said it was harder than he thought it would be. I can imagine, but I can't imagine. That's terrifying.
I just have so many questions about logistics. I can't wrap my head around it, Chantal.
I know, and a lot of practice.
Yeah, and a lot of nerve, that's for sure.
That too.
Brave
absolutely. Guy. But pretty cool to watch. I mean, that's Red Bull for you, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Because they're series. But he's safely on the ground. So
yeah, so, and successfully, keyword.
Yes, I wouldn't show you it.
Unsuccessful.
If it was not.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, weather-wise, a weird weekend, but next week looks decent.
Yeah, as long as you hold out for Sunday, Monday, it will warm up. And tomorrow, not looking too bad. We still have daytime highs in the double digits. And this time of year, 13 at 12 p.m., 15 at 5 p.m. Our seasonal would be 15, so
sure,
not too bad.
And toward the Thanksgiving weekend, things are really rebounding.
Yes, it will be nice. We're seeing some 20s in the forecast there, so Chantal, it's shaping up to be pretty nice.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to leave you with some spectacular sights as we embrace the fall. This was actually taken a little while ago by one of our photographers, Chad Hills, but it shows us the beautiful colors that have been coming in as the fall is here. So have a great and safe weekend. Thanks for watching, and thanks for filling in for Jeff.
Thank you for having me.